Have you ever found yourself sitting in the quiet, feeling the weight of emptiness pressing against your heart, and wondered why God has allowed you to be so alone? Have you ever looked around and realized that the laughter, the voices, the warmth you once knew have faded, leaving you in a silence that feels almost unbearable? If you have, you are not alone. Loneliness is a shadow that visits every soul at some point, and though it feels like a punishment, it may be the beginning of something sacred. This is the story of a man named Yusuf, whose life was once filled with the noise of family, friends, and purpose. He lived in a small town where every morning began with the sound of his children's laughter, and every evening ended with the comfort of his wife's gentle voice. Yusuf was a man of faith, always believing that God's plan was good, even when he could not see it. But faith is easy when life is full. It is in the empty spaces that faith is truly tested. One winter, a storm swept through Yusuf's life. His children grew up and moved to distant cities, chasing their own dreams. His wife, the anchor of his heart, fell ill and passed away after a long struggle. The house that once echoed with life became a hollow shell. Friends, once close, drifted away, busy with their own burdens. Yusuf found himself alone, his prayers echoing in the silence, his heart aching with questions. Why, God, why have you left me here, alone? Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Yusuf tried to fill the emptiness with routine, cooking simple meals, tending to his small garden, reading the same verses over and over. But the silence was relentless. At night, he would sit by the window, watching the moonlight spill across the empty floor, and wonder if anyone remembered him. He felt invisible, forgotten by the world, and at times, even by God. But in the stillness, something began to change. Yusuf noticed the small things he had always overlooked, the way the morning sun painted golden patterns on the wall, the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind, the distant call of a nightingale. He began to realize that the world was not as empty as it seemed. There was a quiet presence in the silence, a gentle whisper that seemed to say, "I am here." One evening, as Yusuf sat alone, he remembered a story his mother used to tell him as a child. She would say, "When God wants to speak to you, he first quiets the world around you. He removes the noise so you can hear his voice." Yusuf wondered if his loneliness was not a punishment, but an invitation to listen, to reflect, to discover a deeper purpose. He began to pray, not for the loneliness to end, but for understanding. He asked God to show him what he was meant to learn in this season of solitude. Slowly, his prayers shifted from desperation to surrender. He stopped asking, "Why me?" and started asking, "What now?" In that shift, he found a new kind of peace. One morning, as Yusuf walked through the village, he noticed an old neighbor struggling to carry groceries. Without thinking, he offered to help. The woman smiled, her eyes filling with gratitude. That small act of kindness sparked something in Yusuf. He realized that even in his loneliness, he still had something to give. He began to look for ways to serve others. He visited the sick, brought food to those who had little, and listened to the stories of the lonely and forgotten. Each act of kindness was a thread, weaving him back into the fabric of the community. People began to notice his quiet strength, his gentle presence. They started to seek him out, not just for help, but for comfort and wisdom. Yusuf's home, once silent and empty, became a place of refuge for others. Children would stop by after school, eager to hear his stories. Neighbors would come for tea, sharing their worries and hopes. The lonely found a friend in Yusuf, and in comforting them, he found his own heart healing. But the journey was not without struggle. There were nights when the old ache returned, when memories of his wife and children filled him with longing. There were days when he questioned if his efforts mattered, if anyone truly cared. In those moments, Yusuf would return to prayer, pouring out his fears and doubts. And each time he felt the same gentle whisper, "You are not alone. I am with you." As the years passed, Yusuf's life became a testament to the quiet power of purpose. He had lost much, but in his loss he had gained something deeper, a sense of meaning that could not be shaken by circumstance. He understood now that God had not abandoned him. Instead, God had cleared the space around him so that he could become a vessel of love and light for others. One day, a young man from the village came to Yusuf, his eyes filled with tears. "I feel so alone," he confessed. "I don't know why God has left me like this." Yusuf listened, his heart aching with recognition. He shared his own story, not as a lesson, but as a companion in the journey. He told the young man that loneliness is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter. That sometimes God allows us to be alone so we can discover the strength and beauty within ourselves, and so we can become a source of hope for others. The young man left with a lighter heart, and Yusuf realized that his pain had not been wasted. Every tear, every silent night, every unanswered prayer had prepared him to help someone else. His loneliness had become his gift. As the seasons changed, Yusuf grew older. His hair turned silver, his steps slowed, but his spirit remained strong. The village came to see him as a pillar of wisdom and kindness. When he finally passed away, people from all walks of life gathered to honor him. They spoke of his quiet strength, his unwavering faith, and the way that he had touched their lives. In the end, Yusuf's story was not of loneliness, but of transformation. His empty house became a home for many. His silent prayers became a chorus of hope. His pain became a bridge connecting hearts that might otherwise have remained alone. So if you find yourself in a season of loneliness today, do not despair. Lift your eyes, open your heart, and listen. There is a purpose in your loneliness, a reason for your waiting. Trust that God is with you, shaping you, guiding you, and preparing you to be a light in the darkness. And one day you will look back and see that your loneliest moments were the very moments that God was closest, quietly leading you towards your true purpose.